Memory loss is something we all joke about, but let me tell you, it's also something we feel deep down. Brain fog, short-term memory loss, and the occasional amnesia moments sneak into our daily lives in the funniest ways. Today, I want to share a story that will make you laugh and maybe even nod your head in recognition because, let's face it, we've all had those moments when our minds just wander. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you came in? That's me, almost every single day. Sometimes it's my glasses. They're on my head and I spend 5 minutes looking for them, or the TV remote, which mysteriously vanishes into thin air. If you've ever experienced brain fog, mild cognitive impairment, or even wondered about early signs of dementia, you're going to relate. Stick with me until the end, because I'll tell you about a surprising discovery that might help people dealing with memory loss, confusion, and the fear of Alzheimer's or dementia. This isn't just another funny story. It's a journey into the little quirks of our aging brains. So picture this. I was in my living room making a cup of tea. As I reached for my favorite mug, I realized I couldn't remember where I put the tea bag. I checked the cupboard, the counter, the fridge, nothing. My short memory lapses were kicking in full force. This is the kind of brain cloudiness that makes everyday life an adventure. Sometimes a comedy show, sometimes a mystery. It all started last Sunday morning. Memory loss hit me right in the middle of breakfast. I was making toast, humming a little tune, and suddenly wondered where I put the butter. I opened the fridge 3 times, looked under the table, checked the kitchen drawers, and still nothing. My brain fog symptoms were in full swing. My mind felt fuzzy, like a foggy morning with no sun in sight. Finally, after about 10 minutes, I found the butter in the freezer. Who puts butter in the freezer? Apparently, me. That's the reality of short-term memory loss and the funny side of mild cognitive impairment. Have you ever had one of those moments where you realize the answer was right in front of you all along? Write it in the comments if you have. Later that morning, I tried to check my calendar. Just a quick glance to see what errands I had to run. But as I stared at the page, my brain cloudiness intensified. The words seemed to dance, and I couldn't remember if I'd already written down my appointments. This is what people mean when they talk about brain fog causes and the mental fog that sneaks in as we age. Short memory term issues, retrograde amnesia, global transitory amnesia. These are terms you might read in Alzheimer's Association guides, but in real life, they just look like tiny moments of confusion. The funniest part? I ended up calling my neighbor to ask if she remembered whether we had planned a trip to the grocery store. She laughed and reminded me that I had already gone alone 2 days ago. Dissociative amnesia, retro amnesia, just my short-term memory loss playing tricks again. Brain cloudiness really can make you question reality sometimes. Then came the ultimate test of my forgetfulness. I needed my reading glasses. I looked everywhere, on the table, in the kitchen, next to the TV. Nothing. It was one of those mild cognitive impairment moments where you feel a little panic, a little frustration, but mostly just pure confusion. Finally, after pacing the living room for 5 minutes, I realized they were on my head. The glasses I had been wearing the entire time. This is what life with early signs of dementia feels like. Not terrifying yet, not permanent, but these small, funny episodes remind us that memory care is something we should pay attention to. And while we laugh at these stories, it's important to note that signs of early onset dementia and Alzheimer's disease treatment are topics that matter deeply for many of us. Short-term memory lapses strike in the most unexpected ways. After finding my glasses on my head, I thought, all right, today can't get any funnier. Oh, how wrong I was. A little later, I went to grab my car keys to run an errand. Memory loss and brain fog kicked in immediately. I searched the kitchen counter, the living room table, even the bathroom sink. The keys were nowhere to be found. It wasn't until I opened the freezer, yes, again, that I found them inside a bowl of frozen peas. My brain cloud symptoms were at an all-time high, and I couldn't help but laugh at my own confusion. If you're experiencing mild cognitive impairment or signs of early dementia, you know this feeling. A fuzzy brain, retrograde amnesia, short-term memory loss. It's all part of the aging process, and sometimes it's downright hilarious. Next came my attempt to make lunch. I decided to cook spaghetti, but brain fog from lack of sleep had me thinking I needed to put the pasta in the fridge first. I know it makes no sense, yet in the moment, I was completely convinced. My short memory term had vanished, leaving only a foggy mind to navigate this simple task. By the time I realized my mistake, the pasta was soaked in the fridge water, and I had a real laugh at how easily memory loss diseases can affect everyday routines. After lunch, I tried to organize my medications. With mild cognitive impairment and memory loss, it's a daily challenge to remember whether I took my pills. This is where sundowner syndrome can sneak in. Confusion in the afternoon, and evening makes you question everything you did in the morning. I opened the pill box, stared at the rows of vitamins and supplements, and couldn't recall if I had taken the doses for the day. Brain cloudiness and short memory lapses made me double check, triple check, and finally, I just set an alarm so I wouldn't forget next time. Have you ever felt that frustration with memory loss, amnesia meaning, or brain fog symptoms? Write in the comments if this has happened to you, because sometimes sharing these little moments makes them feel less scary. Even when the situations are funny, there's always that background awareness that dementia, Alzheimer's disease, or other types of dementia are serious conditions we need to watch for. Later, I attempted to watch a new show on TV. I was excited because I heard it was about mystery and intrigue, but my short memory loss term kicked in again. After 10 minutes, I couldn't remember who the main character was or what had happened in the first scene. Brain fog, mild cognitive impairment, retrograde amnesia, all the signs of a fuzzy brain in action. I paused, rewound, and realized the plot had become a complete blur in my mind. The funny part? I laughed at myself, shook my head, and thought, this is classic Alzheimer's Association material. Then, around mid-afternoon, came the ultimate memory test, the remote control. It disappeared. Brain fog symptoms had me convinced it had grown legs and walked away. I checked the coffee table, under the couch cushions, even in the kitchen drawers. My short-term memory loss term was at its peak, until my cat jumped onto my lap carrying the remote in her paws. That's right, my feline friend had claimed it as her own. Fuzzy brain symptoms aside, I couldn't be mad. It was hilarious, and yet it reminded me how everyday life can be disrupted by early signs of dementia or brain cloudiness. By evening, I attempted a small hobby, painting a picture I had started last week, but dissociative amnesia and memory lapses kicked in. I couldn't remember which colors I had already used, where I left the brushes, or what I intended the painting to be. Brain cloudiness took over. I took a deep breath and laughed. My retroamnesia, short memory term issues, and foggy mind symptoms had turned a simple creative moment into a chaotic yet funny memory adventure. During these everyday adventures, I realized that many people experience these brain fog causes. From early onset dementia to frontal lobe dementia, mild cognitive impairment, and memory loss diseases, the signs may be subtle but persistent. And while we can laugh at the silly moments like butter in the freezer or pasta in water, the reality is that memory care is essential. Understanding short-term memory lapses, global amnesia, and transitory amnesia is more than just reading about it. It's living it in small, sometimes hilarious doses every day. And just when I thought the day couldn't get more entertaining, my neighbor called to ask if I had seen her keys. I laughed because I realized I had borrowed them and put them in the freezer for safekeeping. Brain fog treatment? Not yet. Brain cloud symptoms? Absolutely. But these moments create a connection between us as humans, whether it's Lewy body dementia, vascular dementia, or just general brain cloudiness. Sharing these experiences makes us feel less alone. Before we move on to the next part of my day, I want to ask you again, have you ever experienced short-term memory lapses, foggy head symptoms, or moments of confusion that made you laugh at yourself? Write in the comments. Sharing helps, and sometimes you even find tips or tricks from others dealing with the same mild cognitive impairment or early signs of dementia. Memory loss and short-term memory lapses aren't always scary. They can be downright hilarious. Later that evening, I went to pour myself a cup of tea thinking I had already boiled the water. Brain fog from the day's activities, mild cognitive impairment, and fuzzy brain symptoms were in full force. I looked at the kettle and realized it was still empty. How did I forget such a simple step? Short memory term strikes at the most basic daily tasks, turning them into little comedy sketches. After finally making the tea, I sat down to read a newspaper, but global amnesia, or maybe just brain fog, hit again. I couldn't remember if I had already read the headlines or whether I had even eaten the cookies I put on the table 5 minutes earlier. Retro amnesia, dissociative amnesia, and foggy mind symptoms made the simplest moments a funny challenge. Have you ever stared at your plate or your cup, wondering if you had already had your meal? If so, write in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Then came the situation with my favorite sweater. Memory loss diseases, brain cloudiness, and short memory lapses were all conspiring against me. I opened my wardrobe, searching for it for at least 15 minutes. I checked every drawer, shelf, and hanger. Finally, I found it draped over the back of my favorite chair, where I had left it earlier that very morning. Mild cognitive impairment and short memory term lapses are like little invisible tricks our minds play on us. By now, my brain fog symptoms were causing a full day of funny confusion. My amnesia retro moments made me question whether I had taken the mail in from the mailbox, locked the door, or even paid a few bills. Each small action turned into a mini adventure in memory loss. This is exactly why signs of early onset dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and memory care facilities are topics that so many people search for online. Understanding these symptoms, even through humor, can help you recognize what's normal and what might need attention. Even mundane tasks like turning on the TV became a comedy of errors. I pressed the power button, nothing happened. Brain fog causes me to forget sometimes that I hadn't plugged the TV in. Retrograde memory loss, short-term memory loss term, and foggy brain symptoms all combined in a moment that made me laugh out loud. I realized that even with mild cognitive impairment or early onset Alzheimer's, it's important to keep a sense of humor. Laughter itself may not cure brain fog, but it definitely makes it easier to live with. Then there was the matter of my phone. Short-term memory lapses and anterograde amnesia made me forget where I put it 5 minutes after setting it down. I looked under the couch cushions, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, finally realizing it was in my hand the entire time. Global transitory amnesia? TG amnesia? Maybe. More likely, it's just me dealing with mild cognitive impairment and short-term memory loss. The important thing is, we can laugh at these moments while staying aware of early signs of dementia or Alzheimer's dementia. One of the most unexpected brain fog symptoms happened when I tried to write a grocery list. I completely forgot the first 3 items before I even started writing. My frontal lobe dementia or just general brain cloudiness made me feel a little frustrated, but mostly amused. I laughed at myself and thought about how common this is. Early signs of dementia in women and men, short memory lapses, and brain cloud symptoms affect so many people. These little moments aren't just funny. They're a reminder of how our brains change as we age. During dinner, memory loss struck again. I forgot I had already poured myself a glass of water, then poured a second one and nearly knocked over both glasses. Mild cognitive impairment and brain fog causes can make even simple tasks chaotic. Fuzzy brain symptoms, short memory loss, and retrograde amnesia sometimes make me feel like I'm living in a sitcom. My cat, sensing my confusion, simply stared at me, perhaps judging, perhaps amused, just like anyone else would if they witnessed these small but comical memory lapses. By the end of the day, I reflected on everything that happened. Despite the laughter and the little confusions, there's a serious side to brain fog and memory loss. Dementia, Alzheimer's disease, Lewy body dementia, vascular dementia, and other types of dementia are real conditions. Mild cognitive impairment can be a warning sign of something more serious. But the good news is that awareness, preventive steps, and emerging discoveries in science give us hope. Now, here's the connection I want you to feel. We can laugh at these stories, share them, and relate to them, but we also need to care for our memory. Short-term memory loss, early onset Alzheimer's, signs of senility, or frontal lobe dementia are not inevitable. Science is uncovering new ways to reduce the risk and improve brain health. Stick with me because in the next segment, I'll explain a simple discovery that can help prevent memory loss, confusion, and even early signs of dementia. You don't want to miss it. Before I continue, think about your own life. How many moments of foggy mind symptoms, short memory term issues, or mild cognitive impairment have you experienced? Maybe you've misplaced your keys, forgotten a simple task, or stood in a room wondering what you came in for. Share your stories in the comments. Connecting over these experiences makes us feel less alone and more empowered to take steps to care for our brains. Memory loss and short-term memory lapses may make us laugh, but they also remind us of a serious reality. Brain fog, mild cognitive impairment, early signs of dementia, and even early onset Alzheimer's are conditions that affect millions of people. But here's the good news. Science is uncovering ways to protect our memory, reduce confusion, and even prevent the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Throughout my day, I experienced everything from retroamnesia and fuzzy brain symptoms to simple short memory lapses, forgetting where I put everyday items like glasses, keys, and even butter. These moments, while funny, are exactly what early signs of dementia look like in real life. Awareness is the first step, and knowing that there are ways to care for your brain is the second. Brain fog causes, brain cloud symptoms, and mild cognitive impairment don't have to dictate your life. Studies show that early interventions and new discoveries can help support memory, clarity, and mental energy. Whether it's understanding global transitory amnesia, Lewy body dementia, or frontal lobe dementia, being informed allows you to take action before memory loss becomes a more serious problem. I want to share a small discovery that has helped many people reduce confusion and improve memory function. It's a step-by-step approach that targets the root causes of memory loss, brain fog, and early signs of dementia. While I can't promise it cures Alzheimer's disease or dementia, it has been shown to improve clarity, reduce foggy mind symptoms, and support cognitive health. Imagine a day where you don't forget simple tasks, where short memory term issues are reduced, and where brain cloudiness no longer interferes with your daily life. Early signs of dementia in men and women can sometimes be reversed or mitigated with the right strategies. Memory care facilities, cognitive exercises, diet, and new scientific discoveries all play a role. And there is hope, even if you've already noticed mild cognitive impairment or early onset dementia. Let's recap today's journey. From forgetting butter in the freezer to keys in a bowl of peas, from misplaced glasses to double-poured water, my day was filled with short memory lapses, brain fog symptoms, and moments of retroamnesia. These funny, relatable moments show that memory loss is normal in many cases, but awareness is key. Recognizing brain fog causes, mild cognitive impairment, and early signs of Alzheimer's can make a huge difference in your long-term cognitive health. Now, here's the action I want you to take. I've left a link in the description and in the first pinned comment below. There, you'll find a detailed video explaining this discovery step by step to help prevent memory loss, confusion, and even early onset dementia. Whether you're experiencing short-term memory lapses, fuzzy brain symptoms, or early signs of Alzheimer's disease, this video provides guidance you can use from home. It's important to remember that even small changes in daily routines, combined with awareness of dementia treatments and cognitive health strategies, can lead to big improvements. Brain fog treatment, brain cloud remedies, and memory support techniques are more accessible than many people realize. Whether you're concerned about vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia, or frontotemporal dementia, taking action early is the smartest step you can take. Before we finish, let me leave you with one thought. Laughter, connection, and awareness are your allies in dealing with memory loss. Brain fog, amnesia meaning, and short-term memory lapses might make life feel confusing sometimes, but sharing your stories, learning new strategies, and applying proven discoveries can help you regain clarity and confidence. So, take a deep breath and know that even if your memory sometimes feels foggy or you notice early signs of dementia, there is hope. Short memory term lapses, brain cloudiness, and mild cognitive impairment can be addressed with awareness, science, and practical strategies. Click the link in the description and pinned comment now to watch the full step-by-step guide. It could be the first step toward clearer thinking, better memory, and peace of mind. Remember, memory loss doesn't have to define your life. Brain fog causes, fuzzy brain symptoms, retrograde memory loss, and early signs of dementia are challenges. But they are challenges we can face with knowledge, humor, and actionable strategies. By taking small steps now, you're investing in your cognitive health, preventing memory loss, and possibly even reducing the risk of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope my funny, relatable stories of forgetfulness brought a smile to your face, made you feel connected, and reminded you that short memory lapses are normal, but that prevention and care are possible. Don't forget to click the link below in the description and pinned comment to learn more about this exciting discovery to help support your memory and fight brain fog. Your mind deserves it, and you deserve peace of mind.